Well, elsewhere, Kenya continues to grapple with persistent human rights violations, with rights groups warning the situation is escalating. They say abuses are being witnessed not only within the country but also across neighboring states. According to the organizations, at least 128 people have been killed and 3,000 others arrested in connection with the Gen Z protests. The Law Society of Kenya now accuses President Ruto of remaining silent on cases of Kenyans mistreated abroad. NTV's Victor Garuya has more.
We're headed straight to...
The issue of human rights was conspicuously missing from President William Ruto's State of the Nation address at the 13th Parliament on Thursday, even as human rights organizations and the Law Society of Kenya warn that violations continue to escalate beyond acceptable limits. Human rights groups say the number of innocent civilians dying at the hands of authorities surged in the year 2025, including the case of Bridget Njoki, a 12-year-old girl killed by a stray bullet while watching television at home. Teacher Albert Ojwang, who died in police custody at Central Police Station, and Boniface Mwangi Karaoke, a mask vendor in Nairobi, who died while receiving treatment after being shot by a police officer during protests.
This year, if you just look at Sabasaba alone, that's just one day. Sabasaba alone, we're looking at a figure of 47 in one day.
We've seen, unfortunately, during the Sabasaba protests, goons alongside police officers, a new law in our country. It brings back the scary scores of post-election violence in this nation.
According to Amnesty International, at least 128 people were killed, 3,000 arrested, and more than 83 disappeared between 2024 and 2025 during the Gen Z protests. The organization also found that many of these disappearances were part of a systematic campaign by the Kenyan government to use telecommunication companies for surveillance and track down individuals.
This fear, everyone is feeling it. Tech-facilitated violence against young activists in Kenya shows how government and allied groups are increasingly weaponizing digital platforms to
massive intrusions of surveillance have taken place over the last 1 year. And let's be clear, it's not just that people's rights to privacy has been undermined, but many of the cases we've discussed are related to serious crimes.
And the concerns, they say, extend beyond the Kenyan borders.
But we continue to see in the region that what's happening in Tanzania, our president is mum about it, not calling out the violations that is happening. Even in the EAC as a whole, there's a general silence.
We see Kenyans not being given the necessary support across borders. The case of Bob Njagi, Nicholas Oyo, Boniface Mwangi are good examples to show that.
Human rights defenders are now calling on the government to take urgent measures to end the violations and restore public confidence in security institutions. Victor Ngaroya, NTV.
Address.